Alright, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be giving you my review of a new controller I got for the PS3. A buddy of mine told me about a new controller. It's a third-party controller. It's this Power A controller right here. Power A, you can see it right there. Got it at Walmart. It was $20, I believe. Wired, as you can see. They make a wireless one that's about $40, but it connects to the PS3 through a USB receiver, and I heard some people having some issues with it, like if you were to tip the controller up like that, it wouldn't quite receive it. So I chose to go with the wired. The cord's about 10 feet long, so that gives you plenty of room for your gaming and things like that. And I gotta tell you, I love this controller. I've got your regular PS3 controller right here, and I've always been one of those kind of guys that I like to have the official controller. I like to have the official Sony PS3 controller, and I'd been looking to get another controller so me and my fiance could play golf and Call of Duty and stuff like that together, and so I figured I'd give this one a shot, and I got it, and I gotta tell you, I love this thing. First of all, the first thing you'll notice about it is that the left joystick and the D-pad are switched just like with the Xbox. Now I know this can be a problem for some people, but I personally love this setup. I grew up playing PlayStation 2, and obviously have a PS3, but also had an Xbox, and I have a 360 currently. So I'm kind of used to this layout, but I love this layout. Sometimes I find that when I'm playing games with a regular PS3 controller, if I do like that really quick, my thumbs will hit each other. If I'm turning, and that's not that often, but it does happen. Here with the offset D-pad to the bottom, you never have that issue, and it just feels really comfortable in your hand. This controller isn't as bulky as the 360 controller. It's not as rounded, but I love that layout. So if you don't mind it, this is a great controller. It's one of the perks. I like it. Some friends I have don't like it, but I think that adds to the uniqueness of the controller. The next thing about this controller, it has a little gripper thing right here. It's rubber, so it's built into the controller, and it's not ever going to come out. But this really gives it a firm grip in your hand. You can probably hear it. So and it doesn't hurt your hand. I was kind of worried about that, leaving an impression, but it doesn't do that at all. It just gives the controller a nice feel. Another thing I like about this controller is the triggers. If you'll notice on the regular PS3 controller, the trigger buttons kind of slope down, and sometimes this can be a problem when you're playing games like Call of Duty. If you're cooking grenades, your finger can kind of slip off the back of it. Well, this one right here, you can kind of see it right there. It slopes up like that, so your finger sits nice on the trigger right there. You don't ever have to worry about it falling off or anything like that. Overall, the buttons feel nice. They're sturdy. You can hear the joysticks. You can kind of hear the D-pad right there. The buttons, they feel firm. They don't feel loose like what you see with a lot of third-party cheap controllers. Again, this is the wired one. So the wire is 10 feet long, so that gives you plenty of room. And most of the time, I would play with my regular PS3 controller plugged into the top anyway through the USB. So I don't have a problem with the wired part. The other thing about this controller that I really like is it feels sleek. It's made out of hard rubber, so it feels sturdy. And like I said, even though it's a third-party controller, this is a fantastic controller. And a cool little thing with it is when you cut it on, you're gonna have some LED lights. And so when you hit the PS3 button right there and you cut it on, you'll have some LED lights. So let me go cut on my PS3 and I'll show you those. As you can see right there, you cut it on and you get the LED lights, and those just look really cool. You know, not that it really matters, but it just gives the controller a good aesthetic look to it. So overall, I definitely recommend this controller if you're looking to get another controller that's not as expensive as the regular PS3 controller. Those can be about 50 bucks, I think. But this one, the wired one's only $20. Again, some people said they had some issues with the wireless one not receiving. And I don't have a problem using a wire because I do most of the time anyway. So I definitely recommend this controller. The biggest thing about this one that people are probably going to find difficulty getting used to is the difference between the joystick and the D-pad. They are switched. Me, I don't have an issue with it. I'm used to playing on an Xbox some, so it feels really comfortable to me. Again, some of my friends, it just feels awkward because they're just not used to it. But I think once you get it, if you're gonna try it out, you definitely get used to it. Again, the buttons feel really sturdy on it. You can hear it, and I definitely like the trigger, how it kind of curves up like that. It gives it a nice feel to it. No slipping off. So this is the Power 8 controller. You can get it at Walmart for $20, or if you want to try the wireless one out, I believe that one's about $40. Definitely a great deal if you're looking to get another controller for your friends to play, or I even use this one as my primary controller now. I like it that much, so I definitely recommend this. While I'm at it, I was at a buddy's house the other day, and we got to talking about some things, and we decided to get these things that actually attach onto your triggers of your normal PS3. Speaking of the triggers, and these are these little extensions right here, and I'll take this one off so you can kind of see how it. See if I can pop it off, so you can kind of see what it is. It's this thing right here, and what it does is it attaches to your trigger so that it gives a little more feel. If you notice on the trigger how it kind of slopes down, and sometimes like when I play Call of Duty, if I cook grenades a long time, my fingers will kind of slip off the back of it, and that gets really annoying. And I've heard people say that when they're playing, you know, they get really into it and their finger just slips off the back of it. Well, they make this little extension to kind of prevent that, and you'll notice the extension kind of curves up so that your finger sits right into it very nicely, and they're really easy to go on. All you gotta do is you just push it down and it kind of slides in, and it snaps into the back of it, just like so, and it's on there. And I've got both of them on there. You can get these at Walmart. I think I got 4 of them for $5, so it's enough for 2 controllers. And you'll notice how it gives it that upward curve. So when you're cooking your grenades, you don't worry about having to slip down, or if you're in a really intense gunfight or something like that, you could just feel it a whole lot better. Now, one thing you do have to be careful of is since it does feel that nice, it's just perfect place for your fingers to sit into. A lot of times I'll find myself when I've got my fingers on the L1 and R1, my fingers kind of have a tendency to just kind of slip to the bottom and kind of rest there. And then when I'm playing games like Call of Duty or any kind of first-person shooter, you kind of have to realize that, oh crap, my hands are down there, and you got to pull back to the trigger really quickly. But overall, these are a good extension for $5. You can't beat it. Like I said, they're not awesome, but they certainly don't hurt the controller in any way. And they also come with a little flat part so that it just kind of rests, and you don't have to worry about bumping your trigger or anything like that when you're just sitting on the table. So I definitely recommend these as well if you have issues, or even if you don't. It's just it just feels good in your hand, and that's always nice when you're playing. So that's my review of the Power 8 controller. I love it. I recommend it. Again, if you can get over the fact that the joystick and the D-pad are switched, I think you'll really find this controller helpful and comfortable. And again, I decided to use this as my primary controller now. I like it that much. So and then of course you can get these triggers for $5. They just make your gaming experience that much better. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you find it helpful. If you have any questions about the controller or the extensions for the bumper anymore, you can let me know in the comments or message me or anything like that. Hopefully I'm gonna do some more reviews like this when I get new things, you know, just to let you guys know how I enjoyed it. Even if you don't care, it's fun to do. So thanks, and I'll see you later. Bye.